Meet Lieutenant Andrea Berry, a 1st Helicopter Squadron pilot at Joint Base Andrews, who provides contingency response and distinguished visitor airlift in the National Capital Region. While many of the 1st Heli pilots grew up wanting to fly, Lieutenant Berry's interest in flying came a little later.
When I was in high school, I just for fun just decided to take a ride in a Cessna at our local aero club and just fell in love with it. And ever since then, it's just kind of grown into something that is just a passion of mine.
And with that passion, Lieutenant Berry reaches great heights in her aircraft. But people may be surprised to know how close to the ground she actually is.
As of about 2 years ago, I was the shortest pilot in the Air Force. So I don't know of any that are shorter than me currently, but someone might have snuck in there that's a little bit shorter.
Being short can obviously be challenging, but being the shortest must come with some jokes.
All the time. Yeah, but I just take it with a grain of salt. At first I was a little embarrassed that I maybe couldn't reach a few things, but now I've just learned to live with it and found ways to overcome it.
And overcome she has, but that doesn't mean she couldn't use some help sometimes.
I don't need a booster seat to fly or a phone book, but I can barely reach everything.
Despite her shortcomings, Lieutenant Berry continues to support the National Capital Region and wouldn't have it any other way.
Being a helicopter pilot, it's awesome, like coming to work every day and loving your job and loving what you do and knowing that you're contributing towards a real mission.
Staff Sergeant Chris Bevins, Joint Base Andrews.
For the latest information about DoD support to the presidential inauguration, we have an app for you. An app to connect you to our latest videos so you can watch DoD's participation in inaugural events. An app that makes it easy to link up with our Facebook and Twitter, so you are always in the loop with the latest information. An app that lets you take a close look at some great photos. You can even connect with our full website for any additional information. Or maybe you need to know where to find the nearest parade entrance or medical tent on Inauguration Day. A good reason to get the app? You can probably pinpoint at least one. Inauguration, the official app of DoD support to the presidential inauguration. Now available on the App Store.
The Zari Beninsky home is your typical American family. Kids playing, mom keeping everyone in line,
Okay, stop.
and even a family dog. But there's one thing missing.
I miss my dad.
Major Eric Zari Beninsky, like thousands of other military fathers, is deployed for Father's Day.
Because he's gone for 7 months.
But thanks to modern technology and a creative mom,
Why do you have a mustache? That's mine too.
Dad and his family can still share this special day.
Happy Father's Day.
It helps a lot that we can talk to him frequently and that he can actually text with us a little bit or Skype.
Happy
Father's Day.
We have the daddy doll, which helps. The kids sleep with their little pillows with their individual pictures with daddy. We try to do things like I'll get their artwork and stuff like that that we can send to him to help him. But for us, we're just trying to keep busy to pass the time.
The Justice League. Yeah.
We have all of the flags behind us are all ideas of things that the kids wanted to do for the summer so that we can have these grand adventures.
Even though technology and Emily's creativity helps to ease the pain of Dad being gone, it still affects the children.
Claire had the hardest time in the beginning because she is the kid who needs to know what's coming but without really understanding what to expect and how to feel. It kind of freaks her out, and so we would have every night bursting into tears. I don't want Daddy to go, I don't want Daddy to go. We had sort of that challenge coming up. We got her a journal and tried to say, okay, here's ways that you can write notes to Daddy, or you can write about how your day has been, or you can write about what's been going on, so that things you want to make sure you tell Daddy.
The boys, on the other hand, miss one thing the most.
Wrestling. Wrestling. We each go a different way. Like Will runs around the house and just jumps on him.
Luckily for the boys, Mom has proved to be a formidable opponent while filling many roles.
Mom, dad, and everything in between. Cook, chauffeur, maid, wrestler. Yeah, apparently I earned that rank today too.
But even with constant communication and an amazing mom, things just aren't the same without Dad home.
It's funny, it's like he and I are both strong enough people and independent enough people that it's not that we can't live without each other. We can, and we can be successful in this. But I don't want to. He is the person who I call at the end of a bad day.
But in the meantime, they'll continue to count down the days.
Yeah, now do you know how many months now?
Staff Sergeant Chris Bevins,
6.
Joint Base Andrews. Swimming provides a low-impact cardio workout, and these wounded warriors are learning the proper techniques from their 2013 Warrior Games mentors,
Your body was in the right position,
who have an understanding of the challenges they face.
I was diagnosed with bone cancer in February a year and a half ago, and so through my treatment, the amputation was just the best chance of long-term survival.
The determination and drive to overcome such an illness paired with an amputation makes Captain Evans a perfect candidate for the Wounded Warrior Adaptive Sports Camp.
She's been my inspiration. Just trying to pass on some of the knowledge that we've learned in the past 7 or 8 months from our coaches. Hopefully, stir something in them, get them, stoked about swimming so that when we have selection camp come in January, they can come back and show us what they've done back home and meet with the coaches and really learn how to do this competitively if they want to, and kind of tailor our team for next year.
Whether or not these camp participants will be on next year's Air Force Warrior Games team is still to be determined. But in the meantime, it's providing a great experience.
I learned a new stroke, like the breaststroke, that's given me some good PT, and it's not putting impact on my back or my right shoulder, which are injured, and it's giving me a good workout, so it's something I can do and I can continue doing in the future. These guys are great. They're really taking care of us, and it's nice. It's nice to have something like that available to us.
Staff Sergeant Chris Bevins, Joint Base Andrews. Archery is the art, practice, or skill of propelling arrows with the use of a bow, and these wounded warriors are getting a lesson from some skilled archers, courtesy of the Wounded Warrior program.
Well, I think it's always important that you pass it along. I was very fortunate and had a lot of good people helping me on the way to my road to recovery, and I'm still recovering, but to help somebody else transition, to make their road a lot easier than mine, that just fills my heart.
The Adaptive Sports Camp is a critical quality of life program for our wounded, ill, and injured warriors. This camp helps to get the warriors back in the game of life and physical activity.
You're doing great.
My recovery care coordinator came and saw me, and we both had issues with me not being active, so he decided to get me enrolled in this camp. Activities, they keep you from dwelling on your accident. Pretty much all I did before coming here was sit on my couch all day. So we decided I needed to find some hobbies.
In addition to serving the heroes that have served their country so bravely, the Air Force is scouting for potential athletes for the Warrior Games. And if you ask when, they may have found some.
Oh, every last one of them. I mean, all you have to do is have the desire to make yourself better, and that makes you a warrior candidate.
Staff Sergeant Chris Bevins, Joint Base
You're
Andrews.
doing really well, young lady. This is cool. Yes, sir.
Up. Come on.
Joint Base Andrews houses the largest military working dog operation in the Air Force
Up. Come on.
due to the high demands for detection canines.
Hey.
And training these dogs to meet the high demand is essential.
Dogs are just like humans. If you have a skill and you don't constantly practice at it or continuously do it to be proficient, that skill diminishes that over time.
While most of the dogs are well disciplined and fierce at times, other dogs like Bert may be described a little differently.
As far as Bert's personality, he's definitely got a goofy side to him. A lot of people would say he's got a couple bolts loose, but as far as a nose goes, he's good. Personality-wise, he's kind of stubborn at times. Come here, Bert. He kind of does what he wants to, but when it's time to work, he works, and that's definitely the good thing about him.
Tech Sergeant Smith, who is now a trainer supervisor at Andrews, once handled Bert, and he knows him very well.
Bert was my second dog. He is a patrol explosive detector dog. I had the unique opportunity to deploy in a joint expeditionary tasking with the Army. Out of all the dogs in the kennels, Bert has the most explosive finds. Definitely, I mean, you can never really put a number on it, but he definitely saved some lives with the amount of explosives that he has found.
Unfortunately, Bert's detection days are coming to a close due to his medical condition.
His heart beats a lot faster and pumps a lot faster than it should, so he's on medications that control his heart. His days of working they're just about over. He's getting ready to go under disposition, and he'll get adopted out. You know, these dogs, they put in so much time. You know, the patrol work really takes a toll on some of these dogs' bodies. As far as Bert retiring, I mean, he deserves it. I mean, he's put in his time, just like anybody else, and it's time for him to just, to be a dog.
Even though Bert's working days are over, Tech Sergeant Smith will always have the memories.
With the military working dogs at work, you're spending anywhere from 12 to 15 hours a day with that dog. So you build a bond pretty quick, and you got to rely on them. So it's not just your pet at home that you teach to sit and do whatever. I mean, you're constantly with these dogs, building them up. And then when you talk about a dog like Bert downrange, where they, possibly, they saved your life by finding, a bunch of explosives that could have been used to kill you or, a bunch of your teammates. That's what really starts to, put things in perspective, and you see, you see how it is.
Staff Sergeant Chris Bevins,
Bert.
Joint Base Andrews. Behind this bay door is one of many unsung heroes of the flight line. Senior Airman Derek Hannaford is a member of Kunsan's fabrication flight and comes from a long line of metal workers.
Well, I've always loved welding and machining. My whole family's welders and machinists, and so, I got my dream job pretty much through the Air Force. I've always been fascinated with welding and machining. It's metal that you're altering. It's a great feeling to have complete control over certain elements and stuff like that. I couldn't imagine doing anything else besides metals technology.
And Hannaford knows how much his passion means to the Wolfpack's mission.
Knowing that I have a big part to play in, not only the lifespan of an aircraft, but the lifespan of a pilot, it really does, it's a great feeling, it really is.
It's the behind-the-scenes airmen like Hannaford, loving what they do, that make it possible for the Wolfpack to take the fight north.
Not only am I in the Air Force, which is another part of one of my dreams I've had since I was a child, but I get to do something that I love to do outside of the Air Force as well.
Staff Sergeant Chris Bevins, Kunsan Air Base, Korea.